All right, students, as you guys begin, you're going to notice that we are focusing on job specialization. Now, this is what your slides currently look like, and as I talk, we're going to be adding in information. Now, I will be providing my master copy, so in case you miss information from this video, they will be online after the class session. So right now you're watching this during your asynchronous lesson learning. I have released you guys to go watch this video and complete the slide. So job specialization needs a definition, kind of like a term. And job specialization simply means that it is jobs that where people had time or were assigned to do or developed a skill for it. So I'm going to say that job specialization is jobs that people were assigned to do or had time to develop a skill for it. So this is the information that you need to add to slide number 1 of your slide. Now, number 2, we are looking at the Paleolithic era hunter-gatherers job specialization. Underneath, you're going to see a little dot. That is a bulletin point. You're going to simply click by it. And we know, based on what we've been studying, that Paleolithic era hunter-gatherers didn't really have job specialization, but they did have assigned roles. So we're going to put down that they had assigned roles. What were those roles? Now, this gets a little tricky. I would like you to hit your tab button so that it makes a smaller bubble right underneath the word had. And we know that men during that time frame were the hunters and women were the gatherers. Now, no major job specialization at this time due to constant moving around in search of those food sources. So we're going to add that in there so that we remember this information because we're going to kind of do a reflection at the end of the year where we look at the beginning to the end. Now, we don't want this last bulletin point to be right here. So if you go and you scroll up and it says decrease indent, it's got a little arrow pointing to the left. You're going to click on it and you're going to type no major job specialization at this time due to constant moving around in search of food and resources such as water. That is all the information we're going to need to put on our second slide. Our third slide is called the Neolithic era. This would have been our early farming settlement, and we would have looked at job specialization. So next to the bulletin point, go ahead and click. And the very first thing we know about job specialization is, of course, farming. So we're going to put farming. And we know that it produced food to support specialized workers. So we're going to put that information down. My keyboard is acting up today, so I apologize. Your second one is we also know that at this time during the Neolithic era, they began to build houses, they began to discover new materials for making cloth, making simple jewelry, and even started to develop a sense of how to make pottery. So we're going to put skilled craft workers. They made special crafts / projects. such as house builders, pottery, cloth makers, and simple jewelry. And there was one other thing. Now, this one we haven't really talked about in detail. We did kind of go over it briefly when we talked about bartering and trading. So, we always know that one group of farmers would grow one crop and the other group of farmers would grow a different type of crop and they would barter and trade with it. So, we're going to put traders and merchants. This would have been your buyers and your sellers. And we can say they specialized in buying goods and selling goods. So we'll put specialized in buying and selling. Okay, so that is all the information that you need to put in for job specialization. We're going to move on and we will see you in just a second for our ancient civilization for social class system.